The speaker than Ammon claims to be, and he's done really well, so I'm in a bad situation. But I just want to tell you people how proud I am to see what's happened here. From Monday morning I come down here and there's 3 of us, and you could count 50 armed vehicles. We had snipers on these hills up here, and I have that feeling of desperation that our freedoms are gone. Yep. And I don't know how we'll ever see them back again. How do you ever get back what you let slip away like that?
We take it.
And I don't want to see any violence, because as soon as I turn to violence, I abandon what I believe as the basis of our country, as a country of law.
Live free or die.
The order of law provides us that freedom, and if we don't support that order of law, and if we don't manage it as a free people, we lose it.
Amen.
And as I looked at that, I have 7 sons, and I have a bunch of them, and one's on one side and one's on another, and the bottom line is we have a common interest in our freedom. And I see our whole society being picked apart by forcing us into little groups that won't stand together. You got this group over here, and they're worthless, and this group over here, and they're this, and they're that, and this is that, and everybody's divided, and everybody has some kind of conflict that they can't stand up for the other one, and this divides our society from being able to stand here. And I see people from every walk of life standing here, and this has changed my life from Monday till today. Amen. My feeling about my fellow man on this land, and about the hope we have for our country and how great it can be again. These types of regulations are turning us into a third world country.
Yes.
And it's not just the land, it's education. It's our food supply.
Yes.
I work in the timeshare industry. They're regulating us out of business. It's paperwork, every little thing. Where's your trash going? Where's your documentation? And we've taken care of it forever without them. Why do we now have to pay them to come tell me how to do what I'm doing? They come and ask you, what are you doing here? And then they come back and tell you how to do it and how to document it. Well, this kind of regulation divides us. Cliven was at odds because he hadn't paid range fees. And that's one of the most negative things in this thing, is that range fees weren't paid. But they wouldn't be accepted. And under regulation, right now, there's not a person standing here, a business in this country, that can't be destroyed through federal regulation and harassment. Right. It's the IRS, it's OSHA, it's everywhere you look. Yeah. And if we're going to make a difference in our country, we need to correct this.
That's right.
And what started here started with the EPA. I was in the federal courts in Las Vegas when the ranchers scraped together enough money to try to appeal the ruling for them to remove their cattle off of this land. They said, you're ruining us. We can't remove this cattle. They're the only time of year there's any decent feed. They appealed it to the federal court. They hired one lawyer. Karen Budd was her name, from Colorado. She stood up there and made a case that documented that the ranchers had improved the range. There were more turtles than before, that the range is more productive. And not only that, they're producing a commodity that benefits all of society off of a desert. There's only a couple people I know that's tough enough to live out here and make something worthwhile out of it.
Yeah.
But this federal judge was under the Clinton administration, and he stood up and said, I'm fighting in favor of the ranchers. And during this whole case, the BLM's lawyers, the state of Nevada's lawyers, the conservation group, we had all of the greenies there. Every one of their lawyers got up to speak every time anything was said. And after they had lost the case, obviously they stood up, and the only thing they had to say was, you have no jurisdiction over EPA law. And there were no rights to oppose the EPA and any regulation. You had no federal recourse in the law, and he had the situation where he's already paid for the grazing out here. This fee that they're charging him is just an arbitrary fee. They say, well, you can put that many cows out there and it's going to cost you this much. And next week it's something else. And then next week it was, well, you could have put out 150 cows. Now you can put out 50. And you can either comply and go out of business, as they've done to all of the ranchers around, all of the people on the land. They want to completely be able to control it through regulation. I don't know that that's their plan, but that's what's happened to our country. And one at a time, they can take out anyone in this country that opposes them. And you can bet your license plates and your faces are now in the federal registry.
Good! Good!
Would you be surprised if you're audited?
Nope. I'm waiting for it.
But anyway, I'm carrying on. I get ranting, and I know I'm going the wrong direction with you people. What I'm saying is that when people of a common interest stand together, whether it's in the Lord's name, 2 or 3 gather in my name, I'll be there.
That's right.
Whether it's in the name of freedom, we gather together and stand because of our differences, not in spite of them. They got us standing separately all of the time.
Yes.
If we can get that message out, we have a chance to turn the direction of this country around, to get back to the greatness that this country was. Look at the change that we've made in the world with this freedom that's being taken away. We have raised the living standard, we have raised the conditions, we have, as a country, I can't claim anything. I didn't even serve. My dad was World War II. He chased tanks across Europe. I lotteried out at 364 in a 365 lottery. So I didn't go to Vietnam. But there are plenty of people here that have seen the ultimate price paid for our freedom.
Yes.
I mean people that are running with one leg, have to have a house built so they can brush their teeth, because they stood up for us. They called, when our nation called to stand, they were there. And I see you guys as exactly the same type of patriots. You see the need of this country right now, and you're here instead of watching the cartoons, you're watching sports, whatever.
Yeah.
You spent your money to stand up. That's what will reclaim our country, and I'm going to quit talking. I'll be hoarse like Ammon. But God bless America.
You see how lucky I am? I got a whole bunch of uncles like that. Hey, we have Mark Connors here, and he's going to lead us in the Star Spangled Banner. He is an entertainer. He's got an album, and hey, feel free to